Listen to this, guys. This is just crazy.
We don't have free speech, then we just don't have a free country. It's as simple as that. If this most fundamental right is allowed to perish, then the rest of our rights and liberties will topple, just like dominoes, one by one. They'll go down. That's why today I'm announcing my plan to shatter the left-wing censorship regime and to reclaim the right to free speech for all Americans. And reclaim is a very important word in this case because they've taken it away. In recent weeks, bombshell reports have confirmed that a sinister group of deep state bureaucrats, Silicon Valley tyrants, left-wing activists, and depraved corporate news media have been conspiring to manipulate and silence the American people.
That's why they hate Donald Trump so much.
They have collaborated to suppress vital information on
him.
everything from elections to public health. The censorship cartel must be dismantled and destroyed, and it must happen immediately. And here's my plan.
There's never been a president that they tried to silence
within hours of my
as bad as him.
inauguration, I will sign an executive order banning any federal department or agency from colluding with any organization, business, or person to censor, limit, categorize, or impede the lawful speech of American citizens. I will then ban federal money from being used to label domestic speech as mis- or disinformation. And I will begin the process of identifying and firing every federal bureaucrat who has engaged in domestic censorship, directly or indirectly, whether they are the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Health, Human Services, the FBI, the DOJ, no matter who they are.
Wow, he's going
Second, I
against
will
the big
order the
ones.
Department of Justice to investigate all parties involved in the new online censorship regime, which is absolutely destructive and terrible, and to aggressively prosecute any and all crimes identified. These include possible violations of federal civil rights law, campaign finance laws, federal election law, securities law, and antitrust laws.
Think about how many top officials in the CIA,
and a host
FBI,
of
the
other
government, the
potential
previous
criminal,
government
civil,
are shitting their
regulatory,
pants
and
right now.
constitutional offenses.
Or maybe even plotting how
To
can they
assist
take
in these
him down.
efforts, I am urging House Republicans to immediately send preservation letters, and we have to do this right now, to the Biden administration, the Biden campaign, and every Silicon Valley tech giant, ordering them not to destroy evidence of censorship.
Maybe Elon Musk
Third,
should buy
upon
all
my
of them
inauguration as
and just
president,
again
I will ask
let it out to
Congress
the public.
Send a bill to my desk revising Section 230 to get big online platforms out of censorship business. From now on, digital platforms should only qualify for immunity protection under Section 230 if they meet high standards of neutrality, transparency, fairness, and non-discrimination. We should require these platforms to increase their efforts to take down unlawful content such as child exploitation and promoting terrorism, while dramatically curtailing their power to arbitrarily restrict lawful speech. Fourth, we need to break up the entire toxic censorship industry that has arisen under the false guise of tackling so-called mis- and disinformation. The federal government should immediately stop funding all nonprofits and academic programs that support this authoritarian project. If any U.S. university is discovered to have engaged in censorship activities or election interference in the past, such as flagging social media content for removal of blacklisting, those universities should lose federal research dollars and federal student loan support for a period of 5 years and maybe more. We should also enact new laws laying out clear criminal penalties for federal bureaucrats who partner with private entities to do an end run around the Constitution and deprive Americans of their First, Fourth, and Fifth Amendment rights.
Must be pissing his pants right now.
Deprive them of their vote. And once you lose those elections, and once you lose your borders like we have, you no longer have a country. Furthermore, to confront the problems of major platforms being infiltrated by legions of former deep staters and intelligence officials, there should be a 7-year calling off period before any employee of the FBI, CIA, NSA, DNI, DHS, or DOD is allowed to take a job at a company possessing vast quantities of U.S. user data. Fifth, the time has finally come for Congress to pass a digital Bill of Rights. This should include a right to digital due process. In other words, government officials should need a court order to take down online content, not send information requests such as the FBI was sending to Twitter. Furthermore, when users of big online platforms have their content or accounts removed, throttled, shadow banned, or otherwise restricted, no matter what name they use, they should have the right to be informed that it's happening, the right to a specific explanation of the reason why, and the right to a timely appeal. In addition, all users over the age of 18 should have the right to opt out of content moderation and curation entirely and receive an unmanipulated stream of information if they so choose. The fight for free speech is a matter of victory or death for America and for the survival of Western civilization itself. When I am president, this whole rotten system of censorship and information control will be ripped out of the system at large. There won't be anything left. By restoring free speech, we'll begin to reclaim our democracy and save our nation. Thank you, and God bless America.
Wow. I mean, he need to up his security team right now. I don't know if you can trust the Secret Service, because after this, he's just declared that he's going head on against the FBI, the CIA, the big tech, the deep state, all these very strong government organizations, not to talk about all their woke minions and their snowflakes that just believe everything that they tell them about orange man bad, gray man is good. But if you listen to what he was saying here, I mean, many people just hate Donald Trump so much that the moment he starts talking, they just don't listen to what he says. I made a promise to myself that I'm never going to judge a man just because people tell me that I need to hate him, just because people tell me he is bad. I'm going to listen to the person himself, and I'm going to judge him by what he says and what he does. I think that's a fair way and probably a good way to handle reality, to handle life. If I would have told you how many times I got censored, I got shadow banned on Instagram, not to talk about Twitter, that swamp, when I made videos of me sitting with my mom, an Arab-Israeli religious woman, rolling vine leaves and talking about how we love our Jewish neighbors and how kindly they treat us. Like a beautiful message about coexistence, and it got censored. It got called that I'm supporting terrorism. I got called that I'm sharing misinformation. I went in the street and I interviewed Jewish taxi drivers with my mom and asked them what do they think about the Arabs in Israel, about the war, and they said beautiful things about peace and tolerance. These videos got shadow banned or asked to be removed, or else they're gonna delete my account. When he's talking about the censorship that got out of control, I full on support that. I think that all these heads of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all these people that have been using Google, YouTube, been using the platform to silence political opposition, to silence people that think differently, they should be shitting their pants right now. And I think for their own good, they should come out clean. I think Mark Zuckerberg started doing that kind of saying, I don't want to get involved anymore. They should come out clean and say, listen, I was pressured by the FBI, I was pressured by the Biden administration. They told me that I need to share that with them. They told me that I need to silence that person. They told me that I need to push away this content of Joe Rogan, of Elon Musk, of Donald Trump, I don't know what, so people can't find it. And I did that. I broke under pressure. I am sorry. I apologize to the American people. And I apologize to the Western civilization because I failed you. I think they should try that route rather than try to hide and delete. Because one thing that I've learned from a lot of my friends in the service, the one that are digital wizards, let's call it that way, once it's out there, it's out there. You can try to hide it, but someone is going to find it. I remember even way back when I was in the officer academy, one of the guys came from the intelligence agencies and said the thing about electronic digital messaging, signature call it, the moment that it's out there, it's out there. You can find it. If it's in space or I don't know what, you'll be able to reach it if you know how to look. So if I was them, instead of trying to hide it and delete it, which is going to probably leave a mark that you were trying to hide and delete something, and will make them even dig further, go clean. Go clean. Go to the American people, go to the Western civilization and tell them, we failed you, we're sorry, I was pressured, I was scared, I fell under pressure, and I started silencing and censoring people. I started silencing and censoring anyone who have a different opinion about COVID-19. Remember that? About masks, about Donald Trump, about the elections. Just a whole mess. And wow, this is crazy. It's going to be very interesting. I think we've never seen an election like this before, where so many people from different backgrounds, different groups, people who used to be Democrats, people who used to be in the middle, people who used to be Republicans, people who hated Donald Trump and who loved him, coming together because they've seen a common enemy to the US, which is the enemy of silencing, censoring, the enemy of common sense, and they've seen how devastating that enemy have become. And they realize, and that is something that I agree here completely with what he said, the moment that you lose control over the FBI, the CIA, and they start being played in the political game, being used by the government, by one group of the government to silence an opposition, the moment they start doing that, you have just lost your democracy. You have no idea how powerful these agencies are. And their job is to defend your country from domestic and from foreign. One thing that I like about Israel, in Israel, the Mossad, the Shabak, the IDF, they stay out of politics. They stay out of politics and they say our job here is to protect our country. We're not getting involved between this politician and this politician. We'll leave that to you guys. Let us do our job. And that's what they should do. They should stay out of politics. The same thing, as dangerous as the CIA or the FBI, social media platforms have become maybe even more powerful. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google. Imagine how much influence they have just in this small device in your hand. They can choose what content you see. They can learn already your patterns and choose which content to show you. So they can switch your mind, so they can switch your political views. They can choose which content to hide from you. In the end, you will be drinking and eating the content that they want to feed your brain. And most people are just probably not strong enough to discern for themselves. So this device is probably as dangerous, especially if it gets controlled by people from the CIA, FBI, the agencies. Imagine the power they can have to affect the way that people view lives. Great example, look how many people try to assassinate Donald Trump because they really believe that he's a Nazi. How ridiculous. I mean, you might not like the guy, that's okay. You might not like a lot of the things that he says. He is a very controversial character, and some people don't like his past or the things that he keeps saying. That's okay. But going from there into really believing that he's a Nazi, that he's Hitler, and wanting to assassinate him, this is the work of social media. This is the work of the Democrats. This is the work of the FBI and I guess the CIA getting pushed behind the scenes to help promote this narrative that is divisive and that is dangerous to your country and dangerous for freedom. So, wow. Crazy stuff, crazy stuff. Let's see how that turns. Let's see how that turns. Well, anyway, guys, thanks for sticking out. Go and check my channel. Click the like, subscribe, share, watch the other videos, leave a comment. Help my channel keep growing so it can reach a wider audience. And if you want to find a direct way of helping me keep doing the work that I'm doing, because after all, I am doing this for free and out of my own free time, go and check my Patreon, where you can find direct and practical ways to help me keep doing what I'm doing for you. But until then, just don't do anything stupid. And in general, just don't try to silence people and cover for it. That's just not cool. Let people think. I think instead of silencing people and preventing them from thinking, try to educate people and qualify them to think properly, to think for themselves, and to be able to see what is good and what is bad, rather than you telling them what is good and what is bad. Just a friendly tip. See you next time. Stay safe.